So a couple of weeks ago, we were sitting right here
We were.
and we were talking about how beautiful your house was. We went live on the MLS and here we are now 4 days later.
Yeah, 4 days and got a couple offers. It was great. It was an amazing weekend. The first day, the first full day of the listing, we had at least 6 showings. And then the following day we had open house, and I lost count at about 60 people.
It was about 60
coming through the house. So it was quite the parade and very, very successful. So
exactly. And so what we want to do today is really show you, or tell you, I should say, what did Brian do to get us to that point? We showed you the house on the first video. We showed you all the work he did, but we didn't talk specifically about everything that you did to get us to the point within 4 days getting a couple of offers.
Right. Yep.
Yeah. So let's go inside and let's just lay out everything that you need to do to get a house like this listed and offers within 4 days.
Yeah. No, let's do it.
All right.
It was crazy, right? So, when you start thinking about selling your house, it's kind of like it's your baby, right? You've lived in this, we lived in this house for 18 years. And obviously you have a deep attachment to it. And, when you look around, you're like, how could anybody not want to buy my house, right? Because it's perfect.
Yeah.
But one of the things when you're selling a house that has a little bit of age to it, a lot of love, you got to be honest and you got to say, okay, there's things that need to be fixed, right? Or there's things that need to be cleaned, or there's just things that have to be done. One of the things that I really valued was outside opinions about where the house needs to go and what we need to do with it, to really get it into good shape so that it would show well. And there's things that people come at you with where you're like, oh, I don't need to do that, or I need to do, come on, I don't need to spend that money. But in the long run, getting that outside expert opinion is really, really valuable, and it totally pays off.
Yeah.
And it's not like we had to make some massive, huge investment, right? One of the biggest things that we did is, we had 3 kids for 18 years in this house, okay? And they make a mess. They're just kids. We have dogs, we even had cats. We even had a lizard, okay, at one point. My daughter, thank goodness, took the lizard when she moved out. But, that they make a mess. They touch walls. They do the things that kids do. And so obviously fresh coat of paint is huge. And in this house in particular, there was a lot of walls to be painted. And so there was some of it that we could do ourselves, but there was a lot of it where we needed to hire outside help to do it. And I tell you what, it paid off because they made the house look fantastic. And it was not a huge investment.
Yeah.
At all. I mean, it was totally worth it. And, as soon as they come in with that fresh coat of paint, the house just looks completely different, and maybe it's a brighter color. You sort of walk into the house and go, man, it's clean.
Yeah.
It just feels clean. The other thing that we had to do was look at the floors because the floors can get dirty.
Yeah.
And so we made a decision to go ahead and replace the carpet and just come in with a nice shade of a very light tan, kind of brown color, neutral. And that was huge. And it, again, when you get that new carpet in there and you see it, it's like, oh my gosh, the house looks brand new again. And then you have to look at the major stuff too. Luckily over the years, we had taken care of our air conditioning needs, some of the bigger things. We even recently had a hot water heater that we needed to change out. Again, not a huge expense, but totally worth, getting the experts to come in and take care of that for you. The other thing externally, we just got the yard back in really good shape, put out a nice mulch around the entire yard. So it looked, really uniform, really good. The other thing that you can do that's really cheap and easy is just put some nice flowers out.
Yep.
That makes, everything sort of look good, little potted plants here and there. And again, not expensive, but just, when people walk into your house and they see nice, looking plants, nice looking flowers, it looks huge. The other thing that we had with this house was a really nice pool, but the pool was 10 years old. So there was some broken tiles and things like that. So again, it was something that was not expensive, but I had to go do quite a bit of research to find the right tile, which was a project, but in the end it was worth it because I was able to get it fixed at a much cheaper price than having to redo the entire pool, which could have cost thousands, but instead I'm spending, like a couple hundred really easily there. But again, that's one of those aesthetic things that when people go outside and they look at that pool, they're like, oh my gosh, it's beautiful. It just looks great. The other thing too, is just making sure all the plumbing's in good shape. We did just some basic maintenance on all the toilets, all the faucets, just to make sure they're good and tight and working. Because over the years, kids, how they are, they pull on them, they hang on them, door handles, just all those little things, making sure the door stops are actually catching the door, so they don't make a hole in the drywall. Because that's happened in our house a few times. But, it's just those little things that make all the difference in the world. And when you own the home, you think, oh, there's nothing wrong here, right? But when you actually, you get somebody to come in and look at it and give you sort of a third eye view of, your home, and you have to be able to take it, right? You have to say, yeah, you're right. That wall does need to be repainted. And the other thing that I'll say is if your house has baseboards, absolutely huge to get them cleaned. And there's these amazing things called magic marker erase, and you can buy them pretty much at any grocery store. And they're amazing, absolutely amazing. Now, you have to get down on your hands and knees, and you got to scrub. But I promise you, white baseboards, and they don't look so white anymore, and then you get after it with that thing, they'll look brand new, just like they did before. So, in the end, there were some things that we were able to do ourselves, but there were also things where we need to hire experts to get it done. And hiring the experts was totally worth it. The carpet, a lot of the paint, hot water heater. We also had our fence repaired as well, where we had fence from storm damage. The other thing I'll tell you we did is our roof is in great shape, but we went ahead and got an inspection done. So that set all the potential buyers at ease, knowing that, the roof had already been inspected and given the thumbs up. So, you just kind of do all those things, and, the plan really does come together because when you're ready to actually show the house, it's going to show really, really well. And I think that's what we accomplished here. Was, we had a good plan, we executed, and when it was time to show, it went really well.
All right, so this is an example of where, these ceilings had been painted in almost 18 years. And, this is a big job. And this wasn't something that I was going to be able to do myself. So we have a great crew. I called them and they were literally here the next day because we have such a tight team with them. And they were able to completely get the ceiling repainted, looking good. It looks like it's basically brand new. And in fact, we asked them to just go ahead and do this entire room. And they knocked it out in one day. And again, it was very affordable and totally worth it because it actually, gave us it freed up the time for us to do some of the other little things that we could do ourselves. And so while they were doing that, we were focused on getting the little things fixed. Oh, absolutely. When I think about, how much money we actually spent to get the house ready, it was probably like 1% of, the list value of the home. And, what we've already seen in terms of offers, that 1% has probably already leveraged into 10% on the offers that we would get. So absolutely, it was totally worth the money and the effort to really get the house, into a show ready place. So we're really happy with the work that was done. Again, totally professional. Came in here and got it done in like one day. And, it was like one day later, you got this house and you're like, man, I'm not sure I want to move. I love this place. So it looks great. We're very proud of the work that we put into it and where we ended up. So, just to show you like some of the little things that we did, we've got this great wood deck out here and it had years and years of stuff on it. And so basically I took it upon myself and got a power washer and power washed them. And they came out to be this beautiful color that I didn't even know they were, but they look great. And then the other thing that you can see over here is the, getting all the tile completely fixed. Those are glass mosaic tiles. Occasionally with all the kids, running around, they would knock a tile or two off here and there. And so just getting that, completely fixed, looking good. Again, we didn't spend hardly any money. It was mostly just my effort, to get it looking like that. The other thing that we did out here was just plant some, just get all of our flowers in pots, looking really good. And we've got this great, outdoor dining area. But as you can see, I mean, we're not spending tons of money on little pots and flowers. It makes it look really nice. And so when people come out here, they feel like this could be their home. And that was the goal. And just all these little things add up. And in the end, it really makes it worth it.
All right, so there's a couple of options that Brian had. The first option is what he's talked about. All the work he put into it to make this a successful closing. We got our first offer in 4 days from the MLS. The other option that Brian has is we have the largest platform for off-market deals. And so we told him, hey, we can put it on our off-market deal. You won't have to put as much work into it. However, you're not probably going to get the price that you want, but you won't have to put the work into it. Brian did the numbers in his head. He did the math and he said, no, I think I'd rather put in a little bit of work. And like he said, a very little investment for a much greater return. And we're glad he did. Now, saying all that, Brian is the perfect customer that you always want. And it's the customer that you want to be. If you're watching this, that's how you want to be. Like, hey, I'm willing to put in the work. I'm willing to put in the money and to make this a very successful closing. Keep in mind, Brian is a real estate agent. And so he understands that you got to kind of take a step back from your house because it's your house and you love it. You raised your kids here. It's like, there's nothing wrong with my house. And then you start looking around and he put his real estate eyes on. And he's like, yeah, like you said, this probably needs a little bit of paint and that needs a little bit of paint. But like I said, there's two options. He could have chosen, hey, I don't want to put a lot of work into it. Let's just put it on the largest platform for off-market sales there is. But he chose to go the other route. I'm glad he did because this is a house that him and his wife are very proud of. And they get to move away now knowing they put a lot of work into it and got the offer. If this is your first time on my channel, hit that subscribe button. I want to stay in touch with you. Do me a favor. If you like this video, hit that like button. Let me know that you like it. Let me put in the comments, what did you like about it? What did you learn? What more do you need to hear from us? Put that in the comment section as well. In the comment section is all of my information. To get in touch with me, we can talk via phone call, text message, Zoom, however you want to chat with me. Just hit the button below and we will talk the way you want to talk. And we look forward to helping you make your move to Texas as smooth as possible.